Hey, this is a quick video for video editors, photo editors. So maybe you noticed that TerraMaster has just released their D16 Thunderbolt 3 DAS, which obviously, as you see, is 16 bay solution with Thunderbolt 3. And what is so good about it is that it comes with hardware RAID. That's a big advantage because normally you can find DAS enclosures with something called software RAID, which means that you need to connect it to your Mac, for example, and then build a RAID virtually, like on the software side. So your CPU would need to work harder to actually maintain this RAID. But with hardware RAID, it has a controller inside the DAS unit, inside the box, where it maintains the RAID on its own. So therefore, CPU doesn't need to work that hard, and you can gain much faster data transfer speeds, so that you can choose RAIDs like RAID 6 or maybe even RAID 50, because normally if you go for RAID 6 option, it's quite demanding sort of RAID, resource demanding, so that performance usually drops. So, but anyway, more about the box. Let's go through and have a look what's there to see, what's there to take advantage of. So what they're claiming is like really fast data transfer speed, so 2817 megabytes a second. That's something they tested with RAID 0. A normal situation, no one's gonna go for RAID 0 with SSDs. There's really no need for such speeds really when you're editing 4K or 8K. So all you need is probably around 400 megabytes a second, and more likely big IOPS. So something around 6 SSDs in RAID 5 would already achieve a good result. But anyway, that's a good number. Let's go through the other things like workflows. They are saying you can work with high res 422, 444 options, and they got a design which is not generating as much of a noise as normally you would expect from almost like a rack system like this. So their claim is going to be quiet. Obviously, drives themselves going to generate some noise more than fans sometimes. Well, this is what it is. They're claiming it's going to be quite quiet. So solution. Peace as a priority. So storage wise, it's going to be quiet again. So yeah, we read that. Large storage capacity. So they're saying they support 18 terabyte drives. Probably, I believe you could as well put in 20 terabytes when it comes out officially. But at this point, it's 18 terabyte drive supported in that NAS. Also on the spec sheet, they were mentioning about SAS and SATA compatibility, but it might be a typo. If it's not, then you could actually achieve quite good speeds if you put in some SAS SSDs in there. That would be crazy. But again, that's a DAS solution, one-to-one, one editor. You wouldn't need that sort of speed. Maybe for really fast backups, yeah, but for editing, anything what is going above 1000 megabytes a second, I think it's already way fast enough to do any sort of editing. High scalability, so you can do daisy chaining, have 5 of these actually boxes connected together, so you can go up to 1 petabyte in storage. If you have something crazy like that, you can also connect another monitor and stuff like that. Like it's the ports at the back, you can, as just mentioned, you can connect a monitor, so you can have 2 monitors. It's like some sort of a docking station. So you can work on dual screen. You can connect USB devices. This is USB Gen 2, 10 gigabit a second, so it's faster one. Daisy chaining port you get, and also the normal port which you connect to your PC to access the data and stuff. Creating smartest workspace, they're again repeating itself. You can connect other things like monitors. Really good choice of RAIDs actually here. You can go for things like RAID 0, which is just merged all drives together into one big thing. RAID 1, which means mirroring all drives. RAID 5, 1 drive redundancy. RAID 6, 2 drive redundancy. RAID 10, splitting all drives into 2 halves, mirroring 1 half and another half, and things like that. And that's all achieved with hardware RAID, which is crazy good. What else we can have a look here is compatibility. So online RAID level migration. So for example, if you are in RAID 5, you can migrate to RAID 6, and and RAID 1 to RAID 5 and so on. It supports hot swapping, so if you want to replace any of the drives, you can just pull it out, put the new one in, and it's going to initiate automatic rebuild. The same with different drive size replacement. So, for example, if you want to increase the storage, if you have 2 TB drives in and you want to replace with 4 TB drives, you can do swapping one by one until you have replaced and reinitialized the RAID with all of these drives. So eventually you'll get this higher capacity solution. It also supports actually cache. I don't know how they doing that, but they are saying the cache you can add. So you add 2 SSDs, for example, across those all other bays, and you're gonna have cache there. Things like smart checks and bad sector checking and notifications and logging, all this regular stuff. Let's go quickly through the spec sheet. So you can see the 16 base. This is where I said they are supporting SAS and SATA. It might be typo, but there it is. It also supports 2.5-inch drives, including SSDs, file system, FAT32, 16 NTFS, and ext4. So the most popular options there. All RAID options up to RAID 50, not RAID 60 there, but RAID 50 is still there. So hardware RAID and RAID management software, obviously you get that as well. As we said, you can migrate from your RAID to something better, some RAID 5 to RAID 6, for example. Sleep mode and daisy chaining, SSD cache, what I mentioned. Alerts, USB Gen 2, so 10 gigabit. Then also Thunderbolt ports, with one is 40 gigabit for your PC, other one for daisy chaining and adding another unit. DP for adding monitor. Power, this is the speed what they were claiming with using SSDs and RAID 0. And some technical specs like power 500 and noise levels 35 decibels, which is actually quite good. 35 decibels is not bad at all. So this is all we can see. So you can go and play with RAID options if you want to know how much actually you could expect the speed wise and capacity wise. So if you would go for RAID 5 in this scenario, you would get like 1000 megabytes a second, 270 terabytes, but you wouldn't go for one drive redundancy, you would go at least for 2, if not even doing RAID 10 and halving everything. RAID 10, for example, would cost you half of capacity, 144 terabytes available space, but you would get definitely above 1000 megabytes a second transfer speeds. So how much it costs? 3,199. That's what they are listed on their own website, TerraMaster. What else you could get instead? You could get, for example, Synology NAS. This one as I think Atom-based CPU. If you went for Xeon-based 16-bay, that would cost you around £5,000. But if it's £3,000, you would still achieve something fast enough for 500, even maybe in some setups, up to 1000 megabytes a second speeds, where not only one person can do the video editing, there can be actually 2. So you add 10 gigabit card or multi-port 10 gigabit cards, and several users can connect, edit, and share, and do other things with file storage and install apps and so much more. So for the same money, you could actually get a NAS. If you do actually need this crazy data transfer speeds, yes, go for DAS. You know, that's worth it. Anyway, if you got any questions, you can also go to NAS Compares, fill the form on the right hand side, send in info at NAS Compares email, and we're going to come back to you with email. And we're going to shoot a video as well if the question is interesting. So we're going to help you, we're going to help others. Cheerio.